What's up, guys? TJ and Ian here at the Freakopolis Geekery with episode 24 of The Good, the Bad, and the Freaky. This week we're talking 3 awesome trailers, as well as 2 new books to the Geekery, so stick around after the jump to see our thoughts on this week's nerd news.
It's been a great week in pop culture. We have a ton of goods and no bads, so don't run that bad animation.
So, we'll start off with my good, is the Justice League trailer that dropped over the weekend. I was really impressed. It actually looks like a fun movie. It sort of retreads some ground from the teaser with Batman assembling a whole team and stuff, but with some new action shots fighting some sort of unnamed villains. We're pretty sure we know who they are, but the Flash looks incredibly fast. His CGI looks great. I'm loving Aquaman. I think he was the standout for me in particular.
I think he's gonna steal the show.
Yeah, his line about Batman wearing the Batsuit was hilarious. Him riding on the Batmobile was just an amazing shot. So I was really impressed overall.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of this more humor-filled DC universe. Thank God they dropped that whole dark and gritty tone. I mean, it's still going to be there, but interspersed with a bit of comedic relief.
I think so, yeah. We didn't see a ton of Wonder Woman, but that's not a surprise. We've seen a lot of her over the past couple months with her upcoming movie.
Yeah, she's going to have a big thing upcoming.
Yeah, exactly. And not too much spoiled overall towards the later half of the plot, which was really nice. We haven't seen the main villain. We pretty well know who it is.
Yep.
And no sign of Superman.
No reference to him yet, except that they really wish they had him there.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, it's looking funny, fun. CGI, of course, looks great. And not too much spoiled, which is good.
Yeah, I think they definitely took a hint from the Avengers and just trying to make a really great superhero team movie where they're fighting an alien army.
Yeah, pretty much. So I actually have another good. It's another trailer that dropped this week. Yesterday, on Tuesday, the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer dropped. And again, I really love this trailer. It took a bit of a different approach than the Justice League one. But we see lots of Spider-Man using his awesome new suit, as well as the spider tracker and sweet webbing abilities.
Yeah, the suit looks like it's going to be a big part of the plot.
Yeah, certainly thanks to Tony, and Tony determining. He had a great line after helping save the sinking Staten Island ferry, I believe. Tells Spider-Man, if you're nothing without that suit, then you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what Tony Stark's arc has been throughout, the past 4 or 5 movies.
He would know, yeah.
Exactly. So he threatens to take away the suit, which is sort of a major plot point, but I didn't mind because it really stood out as a moment that's tying this all to the MCU, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's Vulture looks super menacing.
Yeah, man, does some of Spider-Man's B-villains look super terrifying in this. Shocker and the Vulture, scary.
Yeah, for sure. Poor Michael Keaton getting, typecast as the bird guy now. But he certainly brings this gravitas to this role. And I think it could potentially be one of Marvel's best villains yet.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of him interacting with his friends. That looks like a really great relationship that, Peter Parker can lean into.
Mm-hmm.
The set pieces look big and action-packed. I love Spider-Man's use of webbing. Overall, it's got me more hyped than I was before.
Yeah, definitely good on that. So, I have a little bit of video game news. Destiny, the people at Bungie, released finally a teaser for Destiny 2. A great cinematic with Cade Six, voiced by Nathan Fillion, sitting at the bar, having a drink, telling of his tales of combat and stuff, and it looks like it's going to be action-packed and exactly what people are looking for in the second installation of such a cool game.
Yeah, I think everybody loves Cade Six since
Yeah.
the Taken King expansion to Destiny came out. They really fleshed that character out. Leaned into Nathan Fillion, who is such a great voice actor.
Oh yeah, he
and
kills
has
it.
so much charm that to put him in this teaser I think was really wise. And overall, it looks dangerous. Maybe there's some threats approaching, what the Guardians of Destiny know as home.
Yeah, the last city and the tower and whatnot seem to be under siege, which is quite a mix-up from Destiny 1, where, man, that place was stable.
Yeah. In Destiny 1, you were sort of going to different planets all the time, and maybe in this one, It's a little closer to home, and the threat is right at our doorstep.
Which could make for a good story.
Yeah, I think Bungie's probably learned a lot, and more than likely the story is going to be really well fleshed out, and the characterization is going to be strong and on point. And so the full trailer
is March 30th? Yeah.
is March 30th. So we'll get another look at this, a little more expanded on maybe what's going on and where the other characters are.
But they've picked the right character and the right stuff to build a lot of hype immediately.
Absolutely. So, like we said, no bads.
Yep.
It was a really good week, we thought. So we couldn't even find anything by Marvel. In fact, my freaky is a Marvel comic this week. This week, X-Men Prime #1, even though it's a one-shot, is out on shelves now. It's cool. It picks up where the X-Men are after the Inhumans versus X-Men war, and Kitty Pryde's back on the lineup. I think this is really sort of a return to form.
Yeah.
Even though the X-Mansion is in Magic's secret dimension limbo, overall it really feels like the X-Men at the mansion. You've got Storm, you've got Jean Grey, you've got Beast, you've got Kitty, you've got Colossus. Sort of all finding their place after this huge war.
Yeah, I mean, everyone at the shop looked at that cover and said, oh, thank goodness that finally the X-Men I want to see together.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Like, I know these people, they're all in this one book, which is nice because it's been split up over 3. Overall, really good. There's a lot of Danger Room sequences, and it's just sort of the team picking up the pieces from this sort of terrible event that happened, and we can see where they're going forward in X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold.
Yeah, looking forward to those series.
For sure.
So my freaky this week, Tales from Beyond the Yawning Portal, Wizards of the Coast's continuous upkeeping of 5th edition, which is pretty cool. They keep putting out cool modules and expansions pretty much for you.
Yeah, they've done a bunch of adventures. Now this is
a set of classic dungeons, very dangerous, such as the Sunless Citadel and the Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah, for sure. So you could either take this dungeon and put it into a campaign you're already running, or you could
run a whole campaign around the dungeons.
Right.
They're known for being able to do that. So this is definitely a book that you'd like to pick up if, your party is a fan of dungeon delving, or if you just want to see your party suffer if they've been bad in your campaign. Ooh, under that rock is the Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah, so it's filled with great maps and lore, as well as an appendix that details a bunch of new monsters that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a great rehashing for 5th edition of some really classic dungeons that everyone loves to run, honestly.
I think so. I'm liking that Wizards of the Coast is, keeping their lore together and building new adventures and taking old ones and putting them into new 5th edition rules and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
5th edition is very strong for that reason. I've really loved it the entirety of its time it's been out.
For sure. Wizards of the Coast has been supporting it really well.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll do it for this week's The Good, the Bad, and the Freaky.
Please let us know what you think of the trailers and books we've shown off in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share to best support Freakopolis content.
Thanks, guys.